Cancer, welcome to this reading. This is for Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising signs, though you might find it resonates more if Cancer is your moon or rising sign. I do feel with Justice reversed that there is something where this person's saying there are circumstances or there's a situation outside of the both of you that's affecting your connection and it feels unfair, and it's something that's ongoing with that Nine of Wands. Let me start though with this Ace of Pentacles. What's happening here? Five of Wands. So perhaps in some cases the reason they're holding back is because they're concerned about how other people will be affected. There could be other people in the way. In fewer cases, I feel this, your person is listening to bad guidance and advice. I'm hearing from fools. So I don't know if Spirit is saying the people around them are fools or giving foolish advice or inexperienced advice, or if you would consider the people around your person to be foolish. Of course, with the Fool, someone could be an Aries that's around your person. We have, the Two of Swords and the Knight of Swords. So this is someone it's like they can't see clearly and they're trying, and they might be asking other people, and other people are just confusing them, and eventually they'll just be like, you know what, I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to shoot my shot, as people say. So I do think this is something that will make its way to you. With the World reversed, it could be something they've been holding on to even for up to a year in some cases, whether it's an offer, an invite, some kind of words, communication, maybe it's an apology, maybe it's confirmation about how they feel, or what they would like to happen here. But whatever it is, they've been holding on to it for a long time. And I'm looking at this horse and it almost looks like it doesn't have an eyeball, or the eye is closed. You see, it's like, I'm just going to shut my eyes and jump and go for it. And I feel that if you don't reply the first time, or you don't respond in a way they like, they will try at least, I'm getting specifically 2 more times. Okay. So what feels unfair, please, to this person? What do they feel is an injustice? Knight of Wands reversed. Yeah, the Hierophant, Taurus there, Three of Swords. Okay, that this never grounded into something that was committed, stable, long-term, or that if it did, it ended some way in heartbreak. Someone else perhaps got involved, or with Swords, that can talk about the mind. Maybe something happened that caused, I don't really know how to phrase this, a psychological or mental stress or strain or disturbance for someone in this connection, and that has almost created a separation or some distance, or changed the course of how things were going. But I think for many of you, this person saying with the Hierophant, there are other connections or situations in the way, whether it's other relationships, it's some kind of work contract, or there's some sort of religious difference that maybe our families have a problem with. There's some long-standing, unavoidable, very obvious institution in the way between us, and I feel that's very unfair. I wanted to take this from a Knight of Wands, which is fun, passion, but a real lack of certainty, a lack of reliability, into the Hierophant, and that didn't happen, and that feels unfair. The Hierophant, Justice, we've got the Tower, the World. For someone watching, this person saying they are either in a marriage or you're in a marriage, maybe you both are, and they feel it's unfair that a divorce hasn't happened. That's what they would like. And within this commitment, or if it's you they're looking at, they perceive that within your marriage or commitment, it's kind of a burden that you're continuing on with. And if they're in a commitment, they're saying it's not a joy, it's not a pleasure, I'm just trudging along. Right, okay, let's have a look at this Tower here. Page of Swords. I'm getting the message for some of you, you might have met while this person or you were traveling. So maybe you're from different countries. That could even be the Hierophant. It could be talking about different traditions perhaps, but some sort of geographical distance between you, and maybe say they were visiting where you live and you met, but then they had to go, or vice versa. Or maybe you both were traveling and you met in, an unfamiliar place that you were learning about, experiencing for the first time, but eventually that trip came to an end and it's difficult to see one another. It's difficult to get back to each other because you have, responsibilities you're taking care of in your everyday lives. Another way I can read this is that if this, if you are in a separation, complete separation, and there was something explosive that pushed you into this, into these separate spaces, your person is learning a lot about themselves, their feelings, this connection. And look at this crow trying to carry this sword. It's huge and it's losing feathers as it goes, and it's gripping onto the blade end. Difficult, painful. This person holding on to this communication and not being able to get it to you, it's painful. It's a weight that they're carrying. And they might also feel that the truth they want to speak could be pivotal. It would change things. It might actually hurt other people around the both of you or around one of you. Going back to that Five of Wands again, I don't know if it's about karmic spouses, children who might be involved, or whatever it is. There's a feeling of, I'm carrying something that's of massive importance here, and we know swords are about the mind and about communication as well. So big revelations, new understandings, but important words to say. The world reversed, yes, again, can be distance, travel, but it's reversed. They feel that there hasn't been a sense of closure here, even if there was a tower, even if everything blew up in their face. They're saying, I still don't feel that I've let go. I don't feel there's been closure. And I just realised we've got the Ace of Pentacles. In terms of timing, that will talk about a year as well. So whether or not it's that they've had this offer to give you for a year, there could be something in terms of timing around a year that's relevant or important, specifically for those of you, if you stopped talking 1 year ago around this sort of time. I do think, what are we now? March, April, you could have some kind of a reconnection during those months. And I mean, if you're watching this at a different time, and March and April aren't, how do I explain this? Whenever you're watching this, basically, March or April could have been significant, or they will be significant. Okay. So let's have a look at this message that they feel in some cases that they're being forced to keep moving forward in practical ways in their life, but don't want to. High Priestess, Pisces there. Wow, the Two of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. See, that's exactly it, Sagittarius. They're keeping quiet how they feel about you, Two of Cups, but at the same time feeling forced to keep moving forward. So I think, with the Wheel of Fortune, it's not that someone's elbowing them and saying, come on, keep moving. It's, well, yes, but it's spirit. It's, they cannot resist this forward movement because it's literally the universe. It's their higher selves pushing them forward. So that makes sense why they're still moving forward, even though they don't want to be. They can't get in the way of this wheel turning. So in some way, they might not exactly understand what's going on or why, but I do feel like it's spirit saying to them, you can't stay stuck, you have to keep moving, you have to keep progressing. You can't let every area of your life stagnate. But your person is kind of saying, if I had a choice, I would just sit down and do nothing, which isn't healthy for them. But I think the reason they're saying this is if you're looking at them and you're saying they seem fine, they're making progress in this area of their life, they're doing that, they're traveling, they're changing up work situations, they're buying homes, or whatever they're doing, and you're like, well, obviously that's confirmation they don't care about me. No, they're saying they feel this incredible force that is making them keep, is pushing them to keep moving forward, even though it's uncomfortable, even though maybe they don't even want to get out of bed. They just have to keep making these moves. But it doesn't mean they're not struggling. It doesn't mean they've forgotten about you. It doesn't mean they don't want a rebirth. I'm looking at the Lotus here, talking about resurrection, a rebirth. We've got, two, the High Priestess, the number two of Cups. There's something mirrored here, and I can see a 2 behind. Was this a 2 of Swords? Yeah, so 222, that could be a number you're seeing. That could mean something to you. But mirrored energy, you might sometimes feel it's difficult to make big life plans, and, because you want this person to be involved, but you have to move forward sometimes. You have to make decisions anyway, and they're saying, I feel exactly the same. Even if it looks like I'm charging forward, 8 of Wands, I'm having the best time, I'm not. I'm doing it begrudgingly, but I literally can't stop moving forward. Maybe they've tried, and maybe they just, things started going wrong, or outside circumstances forced them to make this change that they were resisting. There's just something here where it's a bit out of their control. Spirit is saying, keep growing, keep moving forward. And it could even be with the 2 of Cups that both of you are being encouraged to keep your lives moving, because later on down the way, when you realign, if that's something, that you both want here, you will find out that the places you've both got yourselves in your lives is perfect. You know, you're perfectly aligned. Whereas if one of you hadn't been moving forward, it would be more difficult to sync up. Okay, I will say another thing. As I've been going through, I keep getting images flashing into my mind and phrases around war, specifically World War II. So I don't know if someone has some sort of connection, if someone is like an historian of World War II specifically. I don't know. I mean, it's very specifically World War II. So I'm not going to say, oh, this person's just saying that they feel like they've got to go through a war to get to you. It's something specifically about the Second World War. So I don't know if that means something to someone. Okay, so let's get into some message cards, and see what else would they say. Okay, messages please from this person to my viewer. I don't know how I feel anymore. It really was me, not you. I need to go my own way for a while, and we have being apart has been life-changing for me. Exactly. This Page of Swords after the Tower. Yes, the Tower is going to be incredibly shocking, and we might feel numb for a time to, you know, to preserve, to self-preserve, and to be able to then slowly start to process what's happened. But after they came out of that period of being numb, of not even understanding how to feel and just being shocked, they've had these revelations, these I'm hearing understandings. They see things in ways now that they didn't before and wouldn't have if there hadn't have been this separation, or if you're not in separation, some kind of something unexpected, and it feels to me unpleasant. And I'm looking again at this Three of Swords. Even, as I said before, even if you were in a relationship or even a marriage, I feel something came up that neither of you were expecting, and it may have created a separation and physically even separated you for a time. Okay, something is still missing for me, and I'm trying to figure out what that is. I do feel maybe even just one of you watching, I think your person could be struggling with something like possibly PTSD or depression or something like that. I just got caught up in the moment. Karma is a bitch. I finally got mine. And we have our connection still affects me. Okay, I just got caught up in the moment. It really was me, not you. So they could have said something that they regret or that was mean. They could have done something that left you feeling like, wow, was it me? Did they not like me enough or something like that? And they're saying, no, it was me. In fact, let's go to this deck next. What else would this person say, please? We have commitment. I want you to be a part of my future. Daydreaming. I am always longing for you. Unfinished business. Yeah, we still have things to resolve and discuss. And dishonesty. By lying, I ripped us apart. Okay, I feel like that could be talking about whatever this is. You know, they said they could have said something that was mean. Inseparable. Our love is always there despite the distance. We have broken. I feel shattered about this situation, but they still have hope. I haven't given up on us yet. And we have runner. I don't want to run anymore. Yeah, unfinished business. I have hope. You know, broken's coming out on top of the tower. So for a time they did feel numb. They felt broken. They may have done things to self-numb, to numb themselves out. Dishonesty in runner. Maybe they lied about how they felt, or they said they weren't interested and they ran away. I don't know. I mean, hopefully not literally. Actually, I'm sure in the comments one of you told me that your person saw you and actually physically ran. I mean, well, I think maybe in most cases this might be an emotional running or an avoidance of the connection. Of owning up to certain thoughts, feelings, desires, especially if those desires mean getting out of pre-existing commitments and that feels challenging. Okay. You know, I think if I was walking down the street and someone I knew saw me and they ran, and I knew it's because they'd seen me, I would be so indignant. I think I would run after them. And I know it would be like a ridiculous scene or something from a comedy show, but I think I would. How rude. Okay, let's see. I've been hurt so badly, I don't know if I can really love again. I can't handle you not being in my life forever, for now, but not forever. So again, this hope of reconnection, the feeling of unfinished business. Even if we had a tower, the world is reversed. I can't accept that this is over for good. Even if it looks like I'm moving forward in my life, I guess I am in practical ways, but I still daydream of you. I still think about us reconnecting in the future. I'm not sure if you love me for me or who you think I am. This person feels a bit traumatized in some way. I'm not sure to what degree. I guess that will vary, but yeah, a little bit traumatized. You are the most beautiful creature I have ever seen. Sometimes, because I know we will be together, I take you for granted. Okay, that definitely could be something you've experienced in the past. For some of you, you might still feel that they're doing this now. I need to control this connection. I'm afraid I will lose myself in you. Yeah, and I think they have controlled in the past what they've said, haven't said, the actions they've taken and haven't taken to try and control this. But actually, you know, because they can't control another person and how another person is thinking and feeling, I think it possibly led to this tower, because maybe you were feeling whatever you were feeling, you know, and you had a reaction to this controlling behavior that maybe they weren't anticipating. I know I have narcissistic tendencies, but I'm not one. I developed these traits to protect myself. Yes, as I said, I feel that this person's a bit traumatized. And not because of this connection. And when I was saying about, you know, images from World War II, aside from I do think someone might have an actual direct connection with that, it's not that they're saying this connection has felt like a war zone. I feel that they've brought, you know, a lot of stuff with them. Okay, and then we have, you are not the only one that's scared. The connection scares me too. And now look, we've got the balance of masculine and feminine energy, the blue being the feminine energy. Look how much masculine energy there is. But this doesn't, the messages specifically don't feel that empowered necessarily. So this could have come across as stubbornness. It could come across as someone who seems disconnected from their emotions. You might even, and I'm looking at the Hierophant, you might feel like this person is very... I'm gonna say traditional, even though I think there's a much better word, but you know how traditionally we think that men are supposed to be strong and not cry. Whether this, you know, this person is a man or a woman, it's like they sort of adhere to that, they hold themselves to that standard. So there could be something generational going on as well. Here maybe there's an age gap, a big age gap. Maybe you want them to be, you know, more connected to their emotions, and maybe they're saying no, that's not, you know, people of my generation, we don't do that or something. I don't know, it could be a cultural thing. But yeah, very little feminine energy coming through. This energy of allowing, accepting, simply being okay with who they are not okay with who they are, to some degree anyway. Okay. Will you marry me? I'm serious. I wish you just knew how special you are to me. It kills me not to be able to tell you. Yeah, that Page of Swords, the crow holding onto the blade. It's painful, it's difficult. You amaze me with your compassion and kindness through this time apart. I promise I'll make this up to you. I'm so ashamed and embarrassed. I can't bear to look you in the eyes and tell you everything. I can't stand the thought of making you cry. Just let me build up the courage to confront this. I'm sorry, I really am. I hope you can forgive me. I just feel so bad. Yeah, so feeling guilty, feeling ashamed, feeling embarrassed, wanting reconnection and high levels of commitment with you. And if you were in a commitment that was serious, that they want this back. This has been a surprisingly heavy reading, I think. So I'm just going to pause and grab maybe an oracle deck or something like that to leave you with an uplifting, positive message or a bit of guidance or something. Okay, so let's finish up with a couple of messages for you. Okay, I won't take all of those. Can we get one message from this deck, please, Spirit, for my viewers? Let's see, we have good things to come. Okay, great, that's a very positive message. So maybe a car, I don't know, that's what's wrapped up here. There are so many amazing gifts coming my way. I can't see them now because I respect the general convention of not peeking under the wrapping paper, but they will show up, and when the time is just right, and that's when I'll remember how much fun it is to be surprised. Okay, great, so good things coming your way. Could be that pentacle, you know, from your person, or just other good things in your life in the meantime. Yeah, and with this gift, it's wrapped up, going back to that message at the start with the food, the celebration. I'm seeing a long table with bowls of food, plates, that sort of thing, of food. So, yeah, I don't know if someone's got a birthday, or if there's some, I don't know, yeah, something around that. Someone might literally have a celebration coming up. But anyway, even if you don't, good things are coming your way. Even if it's not a massive gift, it could just be nice surprise interactions with strangers, a free coffee, I don't know, whatever, you know? Okay, so can we have one card? Yes, take back your power. I'm looking before I even read anything here at all of the blue. So standing in your authenticity, could be speaking your truth in some sort of way, or just, you know, and the yellow here, solar plexus chakra, just living, embodying your truth. If there is something you want to do you need to hold back? Is there a practical reason? Which, if so, fine. If not, is there something you can do today, you know, right now, even to take steps towards this, or to further align with and to project out your truth, whatever that is at this time? Okay, use your God-given power and intention to manifest blessings in your life. Wow, maybe it's speaking your truth, speaking your intention, speaking your goal or something you want to manifest to the divine, to spirit, and the message about good things to come could be saying you will be gifted this, you will get this. Be very clear what your intention is here. It's your chance to ask for something, to request something. And I feel like